Okay, Prabhu, I can start with the prayer, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Agnyandhyatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurudev Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Kadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Swatagatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitamscha Swajivam Sadvaitam Swadutam Parijana Sahatam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visagam Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visvabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Rupyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhavecha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीर्यते नस्तप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर भवती नैष्टिके. Today we are going to read from Canto number 3, chapter number 28 and verse number 44. Kapila's instruction on execution of devotional service. Once again, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter number 28, verse number 44. Tasmad imam swam prakritim devim sat asat atmikam durvibhavyam parabhavya sarvarupena vatisyate. Tasmad imam swam prakritim devim sat asat atmikam durvibhavyam parabhavya sarupena vatisyate. Tasmad imam swam Prakritim Devim Sat Asat Atmikam Durvibhavyam Parabhavya Swarupena Vasisyate. Synonyms: Tasmat, thus; Imam, this; Swam, on; Prakritim, material energy; Devim, divine; Sat Asat Atmikam, consisting of cause and effect; Durvibhavyam, difficult to understand; Parabhavya, after conquering; Swarupena, in the self-realized position; Vast, Vastistate, he remains. Translation: thus the yogi can be in the self-realized position after conquering the insurmountable spell of Maya, who presents herself as both the cause and effect of this material manifestation, and is therefore very difficult to understand. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that spell of Maya, which covers the knowledge of the living entity, is insurmountable. However, one who surrenders unto Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, can conquer this seemingly unsurmountable spell of Maya. Here also it is stated that the Devi Prakriti, or the external energy of the Supreme Lord, is Durvibhavya, very difficult to understand and very difficult to conquer. One must, however, conquer this unsurmountable spell of Maya, and this is possible by the grace of the Lord. when Lord reveals himself to the surrendered soul. It is also stated here, Swarupena Vastishyate. Swarup means that one has to know that he is not the Supreme Lord, but rather part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. That is self-realization. To think falsely that one is a Supreme Soul and that one is all prevailing is not Swarup. This is not realization of his actual position. The real position is that one is part and parcel. It is recommended here that one remains in that position of actual self-realization. In Bhagavad Gita, this understanding is defined as Brahman realization. After Brahman realization, one can engage in the activities of Brahman. As long as one is not self-realized, he engages in activities based on false identification with the body. When one is situated in his real self, then the activities of Brahman realization begins. The Mayavadi philosopher says that after Brahman realization, all activities stop. But that is not actually so. If the soul is so active in its abnormal condition, existing under the covering of matter, how can one deny its activity when free? For example, maybe an example may be cited here. If a man in a diseased condition is very active, how can one imagine that when he is free from the disease, he will be inactive? Naturally, the conclusion is that when one is free from disease, his activities are pure. It may be said that activities of Brahman realization are different from those of conditioned life, but does not stop, but that does not stop activity. This is indicated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 18, verse 54. After one realizes oneself to be Brahman, devotional service begins. Mad bhaktim labhate param. After Brahman realization, one can engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, devotional service of the Lord is, is activity in the Brahman realization. For those who engage in devotional service, there is no spell of Maya, and their situation is all perfect. The duty of the living entity as part and parcel of the whole is to render devotional service to the whole. That is the ultimate perfection of life. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport of 3rd Canto, 28th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Kapil's Instruction on Execution of Devotional Service. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanandamisya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmantimena Tasmai Sri Gurudev Namaha. Hare Krishna devotees, as this is the last verse in of Canto number 3, chapter number 28. In chapter number 28, as we have been hearing from different speaker, is a chapter where Lord Kapil Dev talks about and instructs devotee on how to execute on devotional services, and here it talks about difference between super soul and a soul. And yesterday also Premananda Mataji talked very nicely about uh, what is jiva and what is jivatma and and soul and super soul very nicely. So here in this purport is stated that in order for us to execute devotional service, we have to be on a platform of Brahman realization or a self-realization. If we are not at that stage, then it is very difficult to to do the devotional service in a very systematic and pure way. And here Prabhupada has very nicely said that we are part and parcel of super soul or part and parcel of Krishna. And until and unless and until we understand that we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, it will be very difficult to understand our situation and to execute the devotional service. And also in one of the canto I have read, or in one of the Bhagavatam description I've read, that as a soul, as a part or parcel of Supreme Soul, our natural tendency is to serve, and most of the time we are serving somebody, whether knowingly or unknowingly. We are serving either our family, our nation, our community, our parents, or maybe we are serving in any organization. So at the end of the day, we are all doing some kind of service, and we will be, Maya will be forcing us to do service regardless, or we are serving our body and mind. So when we are under the spell of Maya, any service we doing will be basically, it will be part of our material condition, and won't be considered a devotional service, and will be acquiring lot of karma, whether akarma or vikarma, and will be getting entangled in the fruits of karma, and that is where we'll kind of end up in a repeated cycle of birth and death, where we'll be all exposed to janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi of a living being. So that's why it is very important that whatever service we are rendering today, we need to understand that it needs to be done in a very uh, self-realized way, in a way that this is service is for Krishna and for uplifting our soul out of this material entanglement, so that we can focus our time, energy, and resources to please our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, and Krishna's, until we realize and that no matter what we do, we'll be getting more entangled in the material world. Also here, Prabhupada give very nice example that Mayavad's philosopher say that after being self-realized, after Brahman realization, all activity stops. But how it is possible? How can living entity stop any activity? By nature, living entity, no matter it's a human form or other forms, they'll be doing some form of activity. It's not possible for a living entity to stop any kind of activity. And here Prabhupada give example of a disease, a conditioned soul, or disease of human being. Whenever you are feeling not feeling well, or you are sick, you are still doing some activity. And how can you expect that when you recover from your sickness or disease, how can you understand that you'll stop doing any activity? And that's the beauty of Srila Prabhupada books and writing, that it makes it very easy, at least for myself, to understand very, very complicated verses and translation, to understand that what it means by us being a realized soul, or us being a conditioned soul. Also, other thing it is said here is that it is very difficult for any living entity to overcome the material manifestation, or spell of Maya. And it is described here as insurmountable. Means it's a very, very difficult, and it's a huge to overcome the spell of material nature or spell of Maya. But we can achieve it if we surrender to the Supreme Lord. And of course, surrendering to Supreme Lord, it's for me, it's very, very, it's easy to be said than done, because I always try to control everything I'm doing for some kind of achievement, either in my professional life or home life or even a temple. And it's very, to me for me it's very easily to get carried away, as if I am the doer. And but a beauty of Prabhupada books, as well as devotee association and Krishna, I feel that every day I feel that I am nobody. And I get this realization every day, that unless and until I give up on my my fruits or results and expectation, it will be difficult to do my service, no matter at work or at home or at temple, in a self-realized way. And it is always amazed me how Krishna's comes in my life through devotees, through sannyasi, and make me with that realization that I have to focus on doing my service without any expectation to please, of course, our devotees, Srila Prabhupada, and ultimately Krishna. And it comes in a such a subtle way. It is very difficult sometimes to realize. So I am trying my best every day that before I go to bed, I try to go through what I have done throughout my day and reflect upon it and understand how Krishna is playing a bigger role in my life. And every time I do that, every night I do that, I see that how easily I get carried away, bewildered by I won't call it my Devi, but my own weakness and confusion, that I feel like I am doing things, but at no way I can tell that it's nothing I can do personally. I may think I'm doing it, but it is very difficult to uh, to achieve any kind of results when I am trying to do something as if I am the doer. I have noticed it many times, and that's why I always pray to Guru Maharaj as well as Prabhupada and devotees that please pray for me, because it's very difficult for me to sometimes understand that I'm not the doer, and I'm also not anywhere close to being a super soul. So that and then other thing that I was trying to speak here was that it's only by the grace of Lord and by devotees and Guru Maharaj that God reveals Himself to a surrender soul. So here, what my understanding is that three things has to happen for us to become a realized soul. First, one, we have to understand we are not the super soul. We are part and parcel of the God. That's the first thing. And second thing is we have to surrender. We have to surrender. Of course, we can't directly surrender to the Lord. So we have to surrender to one of His representative, which is our spiritual master or Srila Prabhupada. Until we surrender to a guru and a Srila Prabhupada, it is very difficult to make the progress. And once you have understood you're not the soul, you're not the supreme soul, you are part and parcel of the supreme soul, Jiva. And once you have surrendered to Lord, then you have to do some service, devotional service or a purusad to basically get mercy, where God can reveal Himself. So those are the three things that I have realized from this purport, that is we have to understand that we are not the super soul and will be not be super soul. We have to surrender to a guru, a bona fide guru, and then practice devotional service under his instruction and guidance, and of course association with the devotee. If these three things are missing, then it will be very difficult to get to the Brahman realization step or self-realization stage. So Hare Krishna devotee, these are my realization, and once again I am not at all qualified to talk on Bhagavatam or verses. The main reason I'm doing is for myself, so I can I can learn something and get better as a human being. Hopefully, in this life, I don't know whether I will become a devotee or not, but at least my personal goal, which is to have become a better human being first, and hopefully with devotee mercies and prayers and blessing, I can become a devotee one day. So please add any comments or any correction you may have. And again, my biggest source of inspiration is Vamsidhari Prabhu, who always encouraged me to read Bhagavatam uh, for 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 my progress in devotional service. So very thankful to Vamsidhari Prabhu always for encouraging and inspiring me to continue reading on Srimad Bhagavatam. And thank you all as well for giving your time and association. Uh, so with that, I like you all to comment or correct anything I have said or add your realization.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sachi Sutta Das.
So please accept
Wonderful
mine as well.
points, Prabhu. Wonderful points and realization. I totally concur with you. And this is again reinforcement of a last Sunday feast class on the topic of Vyavasatmika Buddhi. Krishna says that we all start the journey with a preliminary faith, Ado Shraddha, and how the faith is transforming from one stage to other. Like we learned that the faith, we get the faith and we nurture the faith from the knowledge, wisdom, and the knowledge and wisdom is being given by the association of sadhus or the spiritual master through wonderful relationship, and the relationship is being built through services. It's a gradual and a very systematic and scientific process that leads us to the journey of a prema. And I totally agree with you that it's not our endeavor, it's not our mental capability or capacity, it is only through the mercy of those exalted devotees who are somehow or other brought into our life. I am so we are we are all so indebted for that mercy that somehow has happened in our life, and that is the blessings that we have to count on every day, contemplate and connect with the stuff what connect with the this words what you are saying about it. And thank you, Prabhu. It's very inspiring, and it's also reinforcing the blessings to count on everyday aspect on Vyavasat Nagabuddhi.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Anybody else want to share anything or add anything to what myself and Satyasuda Prabhu said?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much for doing the class. And I was just thinking about when you are explaining or reading Prabhupada's purport, he was talking about how a living entity in this material condition, right, which is not a real situation for the living entity, is so active. And then how is it possible for the living entity when it gets to normal stage, right? So not
Yeah.
acting. So Prabhupada was so. It's so conclusive or what? Kind of logical statement.
Yeah.
So yes, I was just thinking about that. Prabhu. And the other thing you talked about the dependency or how. Um, uh, even to get to that stage of Brahman realization, to understand. I mean, how we need mercy of the Lord, and then the devotees, and of course the whole parampara. So
Yes, Prabhu. Very simple and easy to understand if you know. And
yeah,
that's
you
why
mentioned
I
about
try to
sorry, go ahead.
emphasize to myself and my children to read Prabhupada books. It's a lot of learning. Even it's a small book, you learn a lot of things. Or even if you read one purport, it's a lot of learning.
Hmm. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. I know you do a lot of services. How you, handle, and then how you kind of meditate the end of the day that you mentioned, right? So what you did. So
Yes,
we need without
that
depending.
has that has helped me a lot. Definitely.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, everyone. Please forgive me for any mistakes or offenses. That being said, all have a blessed and Krishna conscious day to everyone. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु भवस्य पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।